someone is going to look like a complete and utter idiot out of reports that are going around today, whether it be the media and the people that are actually reporting it, or if it's actually true, and this is how Manchester United are being run behind the scenes now under Ineos, then oh my God, I'm pretty much giving up straight away. Ridiculous stories circulating Manchester United right now. Top targets going elsewhere. Where have we heard that before? Make sure you give the video a like. Make sure you subscribe to Forever United TV. I'm Adam. I'm on location, still bringing you the live content, talking about Manchester United with everything going on at the football club right now. The fans are at each other's throats. I only have to look in the chat to see what's actually going on right now. I want to get into details about the so-called story behind Jean-Claude Blanc and Sir David Brailsford and their tasks by Ineos as to why Ten Hag should stay, why Ten Hag shouldn't stay. It's pretty embarrassing if true. We'll read into that. Also, we have to just be happy as Manchester United fans right now. Why? Well, because we're not Manchester City fans. Oh, good God, tyranny against the majority. Do I hear democracy? What is going on? It is embarrassing. The champions of the Premier League actually charging the Premier League. What in the world is happening right now? Do you know what? Give me Manchester United and the carnage and the chaos which this club is compared to that absolute shower. That is embarrassing what's going on there. We may even talk about that and give ourselves a bit of a laugh and a bit of a G up, because in parts of that statement that's come out and that so-called charges, an unprecedented charges against the Premier League, they've actually tried to compare themselves to Manchester United and use United as an excuse in their defence. Oh my days. It's actually cheered me right up that today. I like watching and reading United news and then seeing what's happening with City. I feel fantastic right now, honestly. Give me United and our inept ownership and the carnage that we are behind the scenes any day of the week to that absolute shower and embarrassment to the Premier League and European football and world football and wherever else you want to take it. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on to United. Huggles has dropped. Hey, go Huggles, how you doing, mate? Not seen you for a while. Hope you're good, mate. Or has he just changed his name? Has he just changed his name? I don't know. But he's back in the chat. He's donated a membership. And Vexto, welcome to the members club, my friend. Get your comments in, guys. If you can't get your comments in, it's because you're not subscribed. So hit the subscribe button so you can get involved. Let's start talking about what is going on at Manchester United. So our mate Ben Jacobs has been talking, and he's been talking about what's going on with Erik Ten Hag. Obviously, that is top topic for all Manchester United fans right now. I think we're all bored about talking about what's actually going to happen with Ten Hag. We've been through all permutations, but Ben Jacobs is saying that Jean-Claude Blanc is being tasked with the case for Ten Hag, and Sir David Brailsford is being tasked with the against case for Ten Hag. This does not mean that either of the two hold that opinion. It is just set up to bring a balanced argument. You finished 8th in the league, worst ever Premier League season. What's the case for? Seriously, if that's the way that Manchester United are operating going forward, then forget it. I'm done. I give up. I give up hope. I'm just wasting away in hope that Manchester United can structure themselves a proper club. I don't believe one bit of it personally. That's my opinion. I'm just going to use my platform to just give my opinion right now, and you guys can disagree or go along with what I'm saying. But no, that's not how Manchester United are working. That is complete and utter garbage. It cannot be true, and that cannot be the way that Ineos are trying to run Manchester United. People keep telling me to stop using Ineos as a word. It's actually United. They're dead right. They are. It's like I don't want to bring Ineos as United yet until I've given them a chance to actually prove their worth. I think that's what's going on in my own mind at the moment. Officially, they are United. You are right, but I don't want to give them. I don't want to give them that name and that credit until they've actually proven that they are capable of running Manchester United. So it's like, in my mind, I'm sort of convincing myself that they're not part of the club, and they've got to convince us that they are going to be good for Manchester United. Then we can call them United. But if that is the way that United are running their ship, and the way that Sir Jim Radcliffe, Sir Brailsford, Jean-Claude Blanc want to do things, it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm more on that cannot be true. That cannot be the way that United are being run. What is the point? What is Jean-Claude Blanc going to dig out in the 4 case for Ten Hag that everybody already at Ineos probably knows. And what is David Brailsford going to do? Like, everybody knows what Manchester United have failed at this season. You know where Ten Hag has failed. You know where the club has failed. You know where the players have failed. It's clear to see over a season. It doesn't take 2 weeks to make that decision. It doesn't take 2 weeks to gather evidence. The evidence is in the not winning. The same thing that you came out and stated that you was going to do at Manchester United when you took over, and you was going to get it done in 3 years. It's taken you 2 weeks after a season of disaster, apart from one result at the end of it, to actually figure out if you think that Ten Hag is actually worthy of keeping the job at Manchester United. Come on, seriously, that's just bordering on absolute lunacy. That is ridiculous. I cannot see it. Guys, get your comments in on that one. Can you actually see Manchester United working that way? I can't. That's funny. It is. Like, is that just a joke of like what's going on at United at the moment? It's absolutely mental. That. And you know what? I'm just going to pass it off as a nothing statement and a nothing story, because I don't see that being the way that United are running things. I think the delay is literally, look, it's got to be one or two things for me. Either Ten Hag's contract and the renegotiation of that, or they are trying to nail down between them who they think is the best to take Manchester United forward using the new Ineos way. The United way, sorry. Is it the United way, or is this now an Ineos way that's being transformed into a United way? Like, you decide. Like, honestly, I'm sick of trying to figure them out on how they're doing things at the moment. Said it once, say it again. Yet more clowns have joined the circus. Joke of a club. This is true. Erik Ten Hag partially to blame, but also players are to blame too for their performances last season. That's the point I'm making. Like, everyone knows my opinion on Ten Hag. I think we can get better, but when you're analysing the season, and this is coming down to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Manchester United now, and the new part ownership, like, how much of the Glazers can we blame on what's actually going on right now? Are they involved in any of these negotiations? Because this is all football matter. This is all what Ineos have come in to deal with, and it just seems to be worse than what it was under the Glazers. And that may sound like a bit of a statement and probably just trying to make it sound worse than what it is, you could say. But realistically, when you look at it, like, we are now looking at a simple decision which is taking way too long in Ten Hag. We should be talking about transfers, and like I said this morning, they may well be getting on with transfers. They may well be getting on with business behind the scenes, and it's just taking them a little bit longer to deal with the Ten Hag situation. But I'm only bringing this up now because of the way that it's been explained there. Like, it's one side, it's one member of Ineos's team against another to better up whether Ten Hag is good or is bad for Manchester United. It's, honestly, it's schoolboy stuff. It really is. It's like, I tell you what, you go over there, you pick a team, and then, yeah, you can pick a team. And it's just like, scattergun. I can't see it being that way. I can't. I don't think it is. And I think it's all just speculation again. I mean, Ben Jacobs, who said that we'd find out about Manchester United and Ten Hag last Thursday or Friday, looks like it's another week on from that. He also said Manchester United's priority target is Olise, where everyone else has come out and said it's the spine of the side. He's now come out and also said that Olise could join Chelsea because they were interested in Olise first of all. And we know that with Chelsea and Olise. We know the story behind that, but you've got to just look at the situation like we said this morning, balance it out with what we're reading now, trying to figure out why Manchester United are taking so long to make a decision. That really is just a simple one. It shouldn't even be top subject for us to be talking about right now, but it's, nothing surprises us with Manchester United anymore. I just hope that we get the right players in and this doesn't get in the way of that, and that for me is really all we can be talking about regarding Ineos right now. There's nothing else. They cannot surprise us anymore, surely, can they? Anyway, let's get into what you guys are thinking on that. Believe in Erik Ten Hag. We won 2 cups in a row. When did that happen? Since Alex Ferguson left. Injuries made this year bad. If all players were fit, we would have performed better, no doubt. If, buts and maybes. Base the great Manchester United on if, buts and maybes, Karen. Yeah, and who else did better than that? Well, Jose actually winning 2 cups in 1 season. For me, he's better. Then finishing second the season after, better again. So when people are saying that this is the best we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson, I just go straight back to Jose and counteract it and say, look, he won 2 trophies. One of them was bigger than the FA Cup because it got us back in the Champions League. And Manchester United finished second the season after Jose wasn't properly backed with the player that he wanted. And that's when it all started turning south for him. So I would definitely counter anyone saying that this is the best that it's been. It's not. The football's been the worst I've watched at United post Sir Alex Ferguson. And injuries don't make up for all of that. They don't. It doesn't help. No, it doesn't. But still, it's... For me, it's just a poor excuse. I hope the delays are not to Erik Ten Hag's contract, says Jake. Comber Smith, Erik decided to make changes far too late, hasn't done himself any favours playing that ridiculous NBA system all season. Question, do you think we'll keep Erik Ten Hag, Adam, says Ashid. Personally, I would go down, not my opinion, or not what I want to happen. I just look at it from what I'm reading and what's actually happening right now. I think Ten Hag's job is gone. I think they're looking to replace him. I said last night, I've just got a sneaky feeling that the De Zerbi factor is going to kick in at some point here. I don't know why, but it's gone very quiet, and all the other jobs are being taken. And De Zerbi wouldn't have been paid out of his unless something big was coming around. I've just got that, like I said, the sneaky feeling that De Zerbi's in line for this. I would take Tuchel over him, as everyone knows, but there is a factor in there. There is also news, I'm just going to read that out, regarding that situation with Manchester United, which is regarding other stuff that Ben Jacobs was saying as well. Again, he seems to be the one that's talking a lot at the moment, doesn't he? Pochettino, he's on the list if Manchester United decide to sack Ten Hag. How many times am I going to hear that? Absolute regurgitated crap, basically. There are some figures within Bayern Munich hierarchy that are adamant that Thomas Tuchel didn't agree to stay at the club because he is confident he will make the final few for the Manchester United job should a vacancy emerge. Heard that before as well. It's the same stuff. I'm going to get into the transfer saga things, but I want to give you guys a chance to just open up regarding. Talk to me about what I've just been talking about there regarding how Ineos are deciding about Ten Hag. Like, forget Ten Hag, take him out of the conversation completely. The way that Ineos are conducting this review, I think, is ridiculous. But I want to get your thoughts on it. Am I wrong in going in on that? Is that how Manchester United should be running? Ross Barkley on a free as a bench option. Guirassy from Stuttgart, 17 million, released 28 goals in 28 games last season. Said it all, Dinky man, said it all before. We should have got Guirassy in January. We had the money there, but they didn't give Ten Hag the money. Again, another red flag as to why I think Ten Hag is being outed by Ineos. Getting players out will be hard due to the high wages we have given them. I can see players that should be sold, stay and see out the last year of the 2 years of their contract. I want to talk about Bruno Fernandes' contract as well. We talked about what we would get from him about him leaving, but if he's adamant that he's staying, how do Ineos and Manchester United approach the Bruno Fernandes contract situation? We'll get into that as well. Bob the Cat says, we get Southgate and everyone will be screaming we should have kept Ten Hag, me included. I don't want Southgate anywhere near. I'd rather Ten Hag still be at the football club than Southgate, please God. Poch was still favourite with the bookies yesterday. What the bookies reading into this? Like, Tuchel, Poch or De Zerbi? Still got to be Tuchel for me. It has. Keep in mind the previous regime made so much mess. Now the new part owners have to rectify the absolute diabolical. Yeah, but still, like, they are rectifying the positions at the football club. It's not difficult to get the manager situation sorted. The season's over. It's over. Business needs to be conducted. Players need to know and agents need to know who is going to be in charge of Manchester United so we can get this done. Is it just a smokescreen for delaying tactics for Manchester United? I don't know. Well, Ten Hag has got a contract. He just needs to sit there and sit pretty and just go, well, still Man United manager. He's going to be reporting back to the club next week. So is it just going to be a case that they're just waiting for Ten Hag to be back from training after his holiday? I don't know when his holiday ends. I'm guessing it would usually be about 2 weeks for a manager, and then they come back. That was usually what happened. So with Ten Hag arriving back next week at Manchester United, could we just be waiting until then? Are they just going to let Ten Hag see out his contract? See out his holiday and then do it? And that would go towards the argument of Ten Hag staying more, I would have thought. But I don't know. Maybe they just want to be gentlemen and tell him face to face. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but it's hopefully not. To me, Chuckle Brothers, Sir David Brailsford and Jean-Claude Blanc trying to make an argument for each case. It's like a kid's game, and it's like it's just been made up, like this new process between them. Like, okay, you go out and find all the good, and I'll go out and find all the bad, and then we'll see who wins it. We'll get an audience, and we'll let them decide and debate, and just do like a big show for people at the club. Fucking joke. Adam, do you prefer Tuchel? Who do you prefer in 2 years? Because Tuchel always gets in trouble with the board in 1 or 2 years. Jack, I see what you're saying, but not true. Not completely true. He may say things that the club have done wrong, that the board doesn't like. So is he wrong for saying that, like he did with Leonardo at PSG? Chelsea? I mean, come on. Seriously? Are you going to actually bring up Tuchel at Chelsea and say that he falls out of favour with that board? Like, who doesn't? Like, Pochettino's just had a great run, 1 defeat in 15, and he's gone. Because he can't work with that hierarchy. It was worse before at Chelsea as well, I think. So, yeah, 2 clubs there, and then Bayern Munich, well, they're trying to get Nagelsmann back, aren't they? And he said no to him. So what does that tell you about Bayern Munich? And one Neuer mistake from getting to a Champions League final, which I think they would have won, and everyone might have been talking differently again. So Jim and his Ineos are not different from the Glazers, their partners, who are bent on destroying Manchester United, the club we love so much. That's the BS feed, us mushrooms. Lovely. Stop the rush. Erik Ten Hag will be sacked, says Winston. Anyone want a gift? Memberships? I want to be a member. I want to be a legend. You are a legend, Ragnar. Don't you worry with a name like that anyway. What was the programme now with Ragnar? It was Last Kingdom, wasn't it? Yeah, the Vikings. Quality. Ineos going to make him walk out with his stuff in a cardboard box like in the movies. Be harsh, won't it? It would be harsh. But yeah, let's move on from that. Obviously, reports have come out and everyone's jumped onto the Bayern Munich and Bruno Fernandes story we were talking about yesterday. Bruno Fernandes does not want to leave Manchester United. He wants a new contract at the football club, which is probably, if we were honest with ourselves yesterday, like we would snatch their hands off for a massive bid like that. But I see a problem in this now. If Bruno Fernandes wants to stay at Manchester United, he has made it absolutely his sole purpose to stay at Manchester United. He's convinced that he wants to stay under Ineos and whoever the manager is, see out this deal and get a new one. He's got every right to be asking Manchester United for a new deal. He has. He's one player that deserves a new deal. But how do Ineos approach this new system that they're wanting to put in? Are they going to upset the structure just to keep Bruno Fernandes at the club? As soon as they do that, I'm telling you now, it's open season for everybody else. Cheers for the 120 odd likes as well, guys. Keep that going up. Let's see if we can get up to the 200 mark on the likes. Everyone in the chat, please give the video a like right now. Thank you, guys. And make sure you are subscribing to the channel as well. Bruno Fernandes wants a new deal at Manchester United. He's on 240 grand a week. Now he's got 2 years left of that deal. He will be 31, going on 32 by the time that finishes. So what are you expecting? A 2-year extension on top of that 2 years that's left? That's usually the normal protocol. 1 year possibly if they take into consideration the age factor. Bruno does deserve more from Manchester United. He deserves more than what Mason Mount and Marcus Rashford are on. He definitely deserves more than what Jadon Sancho is on at the football club. He should be nowhere near the bottom end of the scale. And not 240 grand a week isn't bottom end of the scale. Let's not laugh that money off. That's significant money for Bruno. But still, when you're looking at Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford, other players ahead of you on the pecking order of wages, that is, you're the captain of the football club. You performed every single season. Like, yeah, it's debatable in terms of certain games, but let's be honest, yeah, he does give more. We talked about this yesterday in detail. But how do Ineos get around this contract situation if Bruno wants to stay? It's a minefield right now. Because like I said, as soon as you go in on Bruno Fernandes and give him a big deal, then the agents of the other players around, and it doesn't matter how good they are, how they've performed for Manchester United, they are straight onto Ineos, and that is a big problem. I don't think Ineos will break their structure to give Bruno a deal. I think Bruno's got a problem right now. I do. I want Bruno to go out on a high at Manchester United. Thank you, Bruno. We had the best of you. Let's see. It's like everyone loves Ronaldo. He left in his prime. He didn't deteriorate at the end of his career, and everyone just saying we should have sold him earlier on. We should have cashed in a few years ago. Bruno is at the peak right now, I feel. And you can argue his season, yeah, form-wise and that, but he's still at the peak right now. I want Bruno to leave Manchester United on that high that was lifting that FA Cup. I'm not saying that I just want him gone. I just know what's coming. I know that if United give him this contract, that we're going to be causing major problems within the structure of what Ineos are trying to bring in wages-wise at Manchester United. They're trying to cut down on these contracts and make it more affordable for players, trying to bounce into financial fair play comfortably every single summer. And we are getting around to that. We're getting rid of Casemiro, who is on mega money right now because of them wages. He is what? Just maybe 18 months older than Bruno Fernandes. And we're getting rid of him. Now, Bruno's the captain, I know, and the problem we've got is replacing a captain as well. And I've said this in other videos, and people will say, you're just contradicting yourself from what you said the other day, Adam, because you said you can't get rid of a captain. It's impossible. It's a bigger factor with Bruno. You're getting rid of his goals, his assists, his captain, his leadership, his experience. I know. But honestly, I can see what's coming with this. If Manchester United do give him a new deal, I don't think it's going to be any more than what he's on right now. And if he wants to stay on that, then what a legend. Brilliant. That shows a man that's more than fully committed to Manchester United, because he's seen underperforming players above him on bigger money, and he wants to stay at United and take less wages. Then you have to take your hat off to Bruno Fernandes and go, wow, that is a leader right there, and that is setting standards. It really is. Maybe you'll get a new incentivised contract from Ineos and say, look, if we win more, and this is our project, and we want you to be part of this project, and this is what the whole convincing factor for Bruno might need in terms of what he said and how he wants what they want to align with what he wants, and how he sees his future going forward with Manchester United. I mean, if that is part of it, and the incentivisation of his contracts and certain things when he wins things, maybe that's what he's looking at. But you know what players are like. The problem you've got is it's like you're on that training ground busting a gut. You're performing on the pitch every week and you see some absolute lazy ass. I'm not going to mention names, but you all know who they are. There were probably a few of them. Not doing anything, not even worried about getting on the pitch, it seems. Getting more money than you. I just don't see agents going for it. I don't. And I think we're going to come to a head with Bruno this summer. There is no rush for him to go. He's got 2 years left. He may want to just see out his contract at Manchester United and go on a free. I personally don't see Ineos allowing him to do that. I think they need to cash in. If they're going to run Manchester United like a proper football club and take what money they can out of every single player, then Bruno Fernandes needs to be sold in the next 2 years if you're not going to give him a new deal. It needs to be that cutthroat. Otherwise, it's pointless. It's pointless. We get too attached to players at this football club as fans, in my opinion. And even, I love Bruno Fernandes, but I have to be honest with myself and say, look, if the bid comes in, he has to go. We have to move on. And you know what? I'd love to look back on the memories of Bruno Fernandes and go, that was a player that was fully committed, the right player at the wrong time for Manchester United. That's always what I've been convinced of with Bruno Fernandes. But he's left winning back-to-back trophies, and he gave absolutely everything to the football club. I mean, if he carries on to the end of this contract, he's going to be a midfielder that's scored over 100 goals for Manchester United the way he's going. That's some doing that. And you can say penalties, yes, here and there, but to be honest, I think he's gifted a couple of penalties away this season to bleeding Marcus Rashford. So he could have had even better numbers this season than what he's got. So I look at that and I'll go, the big problem is Ineos right now. It looks like they're the issue with so many different things. and everybody's knocking on the door saying, look, I need this sorting, I need this sorting. What have they been doing over the last 2 months when trying to make a decision on certain things? Yes, I can understand people in the chat also coming in and saying, look guys, it's only 2 weeks, why are you stressing, why are you panicking? Because there's so much work to do. I know, it could all be done and everything could be sorted within a week. Like, they could be just negotiating now with everything. They could be sorting Bruno out, Casemiro out. They could be sorting Ten Hag situation out. Everything could have been being negotiated over these 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, bang, 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 next week, we get the breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. United look like they are a proper football club because Ineos are getting things done sharpish and quickly. So, yeah, we just don't know in the end. But the only reason I'm bringing Ineos up now is that ridiculous story from Ben Jacobs about Jean-Claude Blanc and Brailsford at the start of the show. If you are just joining us, that each side, Jean-Claude Blanc is bringing up a case for Ten Hag and David Brailsford is bringing up a case against Ten Hag. Surely not. Like, as a group, you'll be looking at the season and going where it's gone wrong and where it's not. It's an absolute laughable joke, really, if that's how we're running things at United. I just don't see it. Into the chat we go. What are you guys saying regarding the Bruno situation and everything else? If Liverpool, Chelsea, Barcelona, Bayern Munich don't want the managers Ineos are talking to because they are good enough, then why do people think that they are good enough for United? Are they that desperate? To counter that, Peter, is Ten Hag good enough for Manchester United off the back of our worst ever Premier League season? Is the FA Cup papering over a massive crack that he is part of at the football club? If we are talking about full-on Manchester United changes right now, when Ineos coming in and we're just ripping everything up and starting again, does that not include Ten Hag? Look, there isn't the perfect manager out there. No one's got the perfect manager. Like, the only ones that you could say have fitted and aligned are Klopp at Liverpool and Pep Guardiola at City, Ancelotti at Real Madrid. They're the only ones that you've known within a football club, and even the big football clubs, that have been totally comfortable. I mean, Arteta, they've been calling for his name for years as well, only now. I guarantee they don't win the league next season again. That, oh, why have my lights gone off? Sorry guys, 1 second. God knows what's going on there. I didn't even know we had motion sensor lights in this hotel room. Oh, dearie me. Sorry about that, guys. A bit of a blackout situation going on there. I think Ineos have cottoned onto the stream and cut the light and the electric to the room. I'm back again. Jennifer, mood lighting. Love it. I'm going to have to clip that bit up anyway. And you can see my pink shorts and everything there. Lovely. That's great for the stream. You got to laugh, haven't you? Never mind. Pay the bill. Pink pants. Hey, look, I like my pink shorts, guys. What can I say? Pink shorts go well. No, they're not boxes. They're actual swimming shorts. It's still bleeding. What time is it here right now? What is it, 2 o'clock here? Hey. At least I'm not wearing pyjama bottoms. I thought paranormal activity was going to happen then in your room. Mate, honestly, like, I wonder what was going on as well. Like, Jesus. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be living that one down, am I? See, Kaz bought me them pink shorts, so, hey, if you're going to have it out with her and you won't win. Trust me. No lights actually look better. Mood lighting for the big news that we're talking about. Maybe we should have been just bringing up the City news then, and then all the lights came down on us and it was like, boom. Let's talk and laugh about Manchester City. Oh, we don't want to talk about them too much, but it is laughable. It really is laughable what's going on with them. And everything that we're talking about right now with Manchester United, then, you know what? It just all falls into insignificance compared to what's going on over the other side of the city. God, can't get past the lights going on in the room now. Hi Adam, that's from Orlando. Manchester United preparing to make a potential decision on the manager. Yeah, we've been preparing to make that decision for 2 weeks now. Do people prefer lights on or lights off? Big Ron, stop teasing people in the chat. People will be turning on and watching this stream back later and going, what were people in the live chat going on about? Like, seriously. That's cold, Adam. Which bit's cold, mate? Kaz bought them for her. No, she didn't. She wouldn't fit. She wouldn't fit. I thought Adam wore thongs. See, this little moments like that just open up the floodgates, don't they? Hey guys, I tell you what, if you like the pink shorts, then you got to give the video a like. Let's go for it. Let's get up to 200 likes, please. You've got to give it a like just for that. The fact that I bought the Twilight Zone and then some Ken from Barbie shorts into the equation on the live stream. Surely. Phil Jones shorts. Oh. We used to be a classy club. Erik Ten Hag cancelled Bayern talks, says Robert. Karen, please, Lord, save our beautiful club, Man City catching up. Hopefully they will get their comeuppance, guys. They really will. I mean, just to read through Manchester City, just to go on, this will make you feel better, guys. So, going into what's been said. Manchester City describing the Premier League financial rules as tyranny of the majority. Oh my God! Like, who the hell do they think they are? Manchester City are suing the Premier League for damages alongside their attempts to end associated party transaction rules, which they claim are unlawful. Manchester City also argue the system of requiring at least 14 clubs or 2/3 of those who vote to implement the rule changes give the majority unacceptable levels of control. Wow. The outcome could dramatically alter the landscape of the professional game and have significant impact on separate hearings set for November into City's 115 alleged breaches of Premier League's regulations on financial rules. The Premier League's other 19 clubs have been invited to participate in legal action launched by Manchester City. The Times Sport understands between 10 and 12 have stepped forward, providing evidence, either witness statements or a letter detailing evidence in support of the Premier League's defence. So the rest of the Premier League coming to, not to the aid of the Premier League, but back in the Premier League. Manchester City have also said, and check this out, that why weren't Manchester United dealt with the same way? Like, teams that have got historic history are being preferred over clubs like Manchester City. Like, seriously, tyranny against the majority, like, that's laughable. That is absolutely laughable. City are charging the Premier League. Manchester City, the Premier League champions, are charging the competition that they won. They are completely deflecting away from the 115 charges cases that are coming up, which is in November. We now know that because of all of this. So a complete and utter flip from Manchester City is they're now trying to take focus away from the 115 and saying that the rules that are in place are unfair on the likes of Manchester City. Honestly, it's like, for instance, Manchester City and Manchester United are in a position quite similar that they came in before rules were actually changed. Manchester United, unfortunately, were on the wrong end of it with the Glazers, because you're never going to see the Glazer ownership model in the Premier League again. Never, because of what they've done to Manchester United. You're never going to see the ownership model of Manchester City come in again. They got in before all of these changes came about again, and they still took advantage in all of that time before the Premier League stamped down on it. The proof in that is in Newcastle, who have got richer owners that can't spend the bean. So they're actual proof of how it should be run, and Manchester City are proof of cheat, basically. Manchester United were just unfortunately bought by businessmen because we, as a football club, were the only one that were really making money. So that's why we were bought by businessmen and not a sugar daddy. That's the facts of the matter with the Premier League and where they're up to now. They've been taken advantage of, and now City are in such a powerful position, having got the way to where they have done by bending the rules, you could say, cheating, some would say. And now the Premier League are struggling because it's them against Manchester City. It's like City are running the Premier League right now. This is unprecedented, and everyone has gone in on this. It's absolutely laughable. Like, the whole footballing world are looking in on what's happening with Manchester City right now and are laughing at them. It's embarrassing to the Premier League. It's no wonder that half of the staff are jumping bleeding ship. I mean, United have taken half of them. Are we stupid enough to take them City members of staff? Well, I'm not saying it's them. It's not their fault. Obviously, it's higher up, but you get the joke on what I'm talking about. Jordan Hall has just renewed his membership. Lights off, pink for women, and they belong on the floor. You can't see into a cave with lights on anyway. Kind of a tongue-twisting, weird one, deciphering there one, Jordan. I don't know what that was about, but sort of get where you're coming from a little bit. Jake, I think it could be the reason Pep's leaving. Everyone wants to get out before this actually hits the fan royally with Manchester City. Every single report I've talked about, I came up onto Sky Sports News and a clip came up. Please just explain this to us. What's actually happening right now? Well, basically, Manchester City, the Premier League champions, are charging the Premier League. That's the only way to describe it. It's like, make sense of that. Only them lot would try this, would even think of getting away with this. They are an embarrassment to the Premier League. They really are. Guilty as charged, in my opinion. Trying to deflect. Look, if you are not guilty, you are just dealing with the charges that have been thrown against you. You're not trying to deflect away. This just looks pure guilt to me. It's trying to move away from what the real matter at hand is. It's like the rules that have been there, and they're not happy about them rules. So obviously, instead of being guilty, oh, it's just because the rules are not fair. So let's just try and charge the actual rule makers now because we're convinced that we're in the right. No, you deal with the charges that have been put against you and you try and prove your innocence like everybody else. You don't try and change the rules that are already there to deflect away from the fact that you are probably guilty in several of them 115 charges. It is absolutely embarrassment. Let's not forget, like, if you are not guilty, then you don't pay 40, 50 million to UEFA. Like, who would pay in their right mind them fees and them charges if they weren't guilty? Like, are you going to fork out that amount of money if you're not guilty? Like, unbelievable, like, what is going on right now. It really is. And you know what? You look at everything, you look at what's going on with Manchester United. I said this at the top of the show, and you just say, look, you know what? It's not great at United right now, but we've got plenty of time within the rules to sort our summer out and start next season on the front foot off the back of winning the last trophy of the season domestically. Manchester City will never be able to rid themselves of these claims. They're never going to be able to take these Premier Leagues, the Champions League and the Cups that they've won and all the success they've had. They're never going to be able to take them forward in their history like Manchester United have and other clubs have in the Premier League. It's just impossible. Like, the more that they go on and the more that they cry wolf, the more that everyone is going to be convinced that they are bending rules and they are trying to get around this and trying to con the system. That's what City are doing right now. It's embarrassing. It is beyond embarrassing. Winston says, this is the reason why I never wanted Qatari. They are slave money. Don't write them, says Rajat. FUTV only fans now, says Jordan. City obviously know they are guilty and are trying to put pressure on, hope that charges will be dropped. It's just a pure guilt trip, isn't it? You know that these actions of Manchester City are of a guilty nature. There's no other explanation. Like, you cannot tell me that this isn't just a last Hail Mary. They're up against the ropes and they're windmilling, aren't they, right now, City, hoping that they can connect. We're just jabbing away, their heads being knocked back constantly, and they're just windmilling, trying to connect and hope that something sticks. You are a joke to the league. You're an embarrassment. And do you know what? When this backfires on them, because the interesting thing in that story was that like a dozen of the Premier League teams have got evidence and statements of Manchester City backing up the Premier League. Kaz has just sent me a message now. She must be watching from the Sun Lounges, talking about pink boxes. See what you guys have done now. You just like, we're talking serious here about charges and Manchester City cheating the system, and all anyone can think about is bleeding pink shorts. I wish I wore the blue ones today when that happened. I tell you what. We have enough going on in our own house. Screw Man City, I don't give a toss. Look, mate, look, it's serious because Manchester United will have a couple more titles if this actually comes to light and they get stripped of it. Send them down to non-league, punish them properly, then we'll see what the fans are made of. I tell you what, it's just like, again, how important are Manchester City to the Premier League? Are they gonna go all in on this? They need to go all in on this because as soon as City get off with it, if they do, then the respect for the Premier League goes out of the window completely, and teams will start to be pushed across to the Super League again. If City do not get punished, then the Super League comes back into play, because how respectable is the Premier League after this? You have just been taken to the cleaners by one of the Premier League teams. One of your members has just embarrassed you. Absolutely embarrassed you. The Premier League need to have all of their eggs in one basket here, and they need to know what their attack is and what's going on. I can't see them going in on Manchester City without having significant evidence. And I think City, hopefully, have tripped themselves up even more now by trying to go against the Premier League and trying to spin this on them. Because like we said, if 12 teams have come out and said, I'm actually going to just read that statement again, actually. Bear with me 1 second. So the Premier League's other 19 clubs have been invited to participate in legal action launched by Man City. And the Times Sports understands between 10 and 12 have stepped forward, providing either witness statements or a letter detailing evidence in support of the Premier League's defence. So that's defending the Premier League against Manchester City. Eventually, this has to come to a head. November is the hearing for the 115 charges. Next week is the hearing of arbitration for this case that we're talking about here that City are holding against the Premier League. So it's going to be a really interesting couple of weeks. I'm intrigued to see how this goes. And you know what? I'll sit back with my popcorn and laugh at Manchester City being the joke club for a while, because it usually is Manchester United how we operate. We have got our own issues at United, but you know what? I think we can safely say that we have earned our own problems through bad running of the football club. And yeah, we can laugh it off now. It's a serious matter, I know, but you know what? I wouldn't change it for anything, and I definitely would rather be a red than a blue in these two situations. You can take all your trophies, you can take everything that you've built, and you know what? Just have to sit there with it and accept, and hand on heart, be honest with yourself that you actually earned them the right way. Because you know you didn't. And you know what's worse about it? It's a shame on Manchester City's players. Not that I like them or anything, but they got nothing to do with how corrupt Manchester City are. But you know what, how it was all brought together? Well, maybe it'll come to a head now anyway. But hey, this is a United channel. We have got our own problems, including pink shorts. But hey, we move on, don't we? We move on. But just to round things up, let me just double check if there's anything else breaking. I did want to talk quickly about the possibility of Olise going in to Chelsea as well. It looks like a straight race between Manchester United and Chelsea for Michael Olise. Olise's heart says join United, but his head will look at contract package long term, who's likely to get the Champions League trophies, system and play time. He also has history with Chelsea. Great, just what we want to be hearing realistically, isn't it? The other news was regarding João Neves as well. We talked about him this morning. Arsenal are looking at João Neves more seriously than Manchester United at the moment. And again, like we said this morning, the problem we've got is convincing players to come to Manchester United in the situation that we're in. With all of the circus and the carnage going on right now, where would you rather go? You don't know who's managing at Manchester United. You don't know what players you're going to be playing with at Manchester United. You don't know what the future holds for him with a new ownership and things like that. You're probably going to be on just as much money as someone who's actually playing in the Champions League with a settled manager and a settled team. How do you compete with that as Ineos? That's what we've got to look at as well. And I want to end the show on that bombshell. Oh, thank you everybody for getting involved. Sorry about the blackout. Not sorry for the pink shorts. Hey, if you can rock it, rock it. Guys, give the video a like. I want 20 more likes just as you're leaving the show to hit that 250 mark, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the evening. New members, everyone who's liked the video, thank you so much. Cheers for getting involved, everybody. And I will see you all tomorrow. Another day goes by with no outcome on the manager situation. What's next for Manchester United? Who knows? I will report it tomorrow, hopefully. I feel like I'm saying that every single day. Have a good one, everyone. I'll see you all later.